Hi guys, this is my sketchbook. I wasn't sure if I was going to show this to you, but I decided to anyway because it's important for people who are new to art, for them to see that the artist isn't always just practicing technical skill or making refined work, but this is also a process of brainstorming. This is my brainstorming sketchbook. It's kind of a cheap sketchbook. It's generic. The pages are thin, so you'll see when I move through it that the pages bleed through. So I only draw on one side of the page. But yeah, I think this was like $14.99 for the sketchbook on Amazon. The covers started fraying, so I taped them up with some duct tape, and it was good enough. So this is a brainstorming. There's a lot of stream of consciousness, a lot of notes to self in here. I want to do a graphic novel, and at the same time I'm making a children's picture book. So this is like a lot of different things going on in this sketchbook. And the first part, it actually, the sketchbook changes throughout the time that I'm keeping it. It goes from very messy and thumbnails and a lot of words, notes to self, to towards the end more art journaling and journaling what's in my life and drawing things from my life. So as you can see, a lot of very messiness. I mean, I'm having fun with this sketchbook. Obviously, you can see all the cute things. I do color in some of the areas, possibilities for finished work or book ideas, stuff about my kids. My son always makes faces at me when I take pictures at him, so I was going to do his portrait of his disdain. I think this is more where it gets into my life. This is my therapist. Every time I went in, I'd draw like a couple pieces of him, and I realized that as I drew, I couldn't really pay attention to what I was saying or what I was listening to, so I actually stopped drawing on it. I was in the doctor's office with this one. Sometimes I let my kids draw my sketchbook, and then I'll like do redrawings of their drawings. I think it's very insightful to see what's on their mind. And I noticed that I have a lot of anxiety when I was doing this, because I would write down some stream of consciousness or just things that would pop into my head. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm worrying a lot about the future. Here I tried to do gyro meet via memory, and then I did one with a reference photo. It turned out a lot different. References are important. Here was a picture of my family at my son's graduation. Very rough drawing. We had a bunch of cicadas hatching the area where we lived this summer. And then this is where it goes more into the art journaling. We went on a road trip, and I was just looking at the types of trees and the types of clouds that we were passing as we were going by, and kind of doing my own version of some of the shapes. Here's the clouds. There's a cloud that actually looked like that. I was like, that's a cute cloud. I had to draw it. Some different shapes of trees. Just things going on. I like this. Activate false memory on your iPods. Everything Apple, I kind of get mixed up with each other. Like a AirDrop, I call it iDrop, and my kids are like, no, that's not it. Or earpods or iPods, or I kind of get everything Apple mixed up. Yeah, my kids, they bear with me. This I did not draw. I mean, I drew this, but this image is from my daughter's shirt she was wearing at breakfast one day. I tried to draw my childhood room, and then I realized that it was actually totally wrong. That's not what it looked like at all. Things from my life. A pervasive feeling of doom. That's nice. This was a little guy that was in my wood grain floor. How to care for your emo. My son. And the teenagers, they're all about what's emo and what's not emo. I don't know why. This was in the kids' kiddie pool this summer. They had this giant orca my teenage son was sitting on it. I told him to go play in the pool with the kids, and he was just not very happy about it. So I drew him. Here's my daughters. I started drawing them, and then my one daughter got a little bit of barbecue sauce on my page, so I kind of drew in that guy's eyes to cover it up and turn him into a bug. This was some girl's shirt that I saw. Here's my daughter's Squishmallow. She colored it for me. Stuff on Father's Day. Here's I took my daughter to the park. This was the thing she was playing on. And then here's a couple things from my childhood. I would eat these Hostess cupcakes for breakfast every day. So there's my breakfast. There's tons of box elder bugs on our house. Just little memories, I guess. I don't know. This is a monster race. Different kinds of lists that I found over the years. Here's talking about the devil. Social media is full of lies. How about that? This is an insight into my thinking. Yeah, we were driving along the road, and there's this old broken down barn with a hole in the roof, and my husband said it looked like a spaceship crashed through it, so I drew it, and then I had the alien just making himself at home here and turned into a farmer. There's my daughter drawing. I finally bought some creative paper clay, and I still haven't used it, but there it is. I was drawing this motorcycle that was in a parking lot, and then some lady blocked me from seeing the other half. So there's the half from reference, and there's the half from memory. You can see there's a big difference. A story about a girl trying to take my Fight Club book at the park. And there was some little white foxes on this old X-Files rerun that I was watching, and then I had them burying the guy. I don't know. We went on a road trip, my family did, so this was the back of our van, and my kids were watching a Studio Ghibli movie. Some things around the Airbnb that I drew. Here's another place that we stayed at, our friends Dave and Gail. We were listening to Fela on the way there, and I ate a bunch of chocolate-covered espresso beans. And my daughter found a modest sphinx moth, so I drew him a bunch of times. Because I like bugs. My daughter does too. She likes little creepy things. These are some of the things that she caught while we were there, including a 3-foot garter snake. My husband was fishing, but I don't fish, so I drew a doodle. Here's some things from memory. Loons, an eagle, and some deers. These are all the animals that were at our friend's house. Here was a Minneapolis Museum of Art. It's 2 pictures. There's the art museum at the top, and then down here, this giant head was in the art museum lawn, and then we met this guy who told us how to get to a restaurant to eat a Juicy Lucy. That's what I guess Minneapolis is known for. We went to the Mall of America. I got that thing. When we got back, my daughter needed to go to the pediatrician, so I was drawing some stuff around the pediatrician's office. From my backyard, I drew my daughter. She moves all the time because she's 6, so it was very hard to draw her. Here's 2 different versions of an ant. Here's my daughter at an ice cream parlor. I love this lady's arm. I don't know. It cracks me up when I mess things up. And then, you know what? This is just all kind of journaling. So I'm not going to show that because you don't need to know. And that's it for the sketchbook. Thank you for joining me.